Welcome back, Nick Lenz. Now, movie review episode number 71. Now, I teased in my One Piece review, I'm viewing a start of a new series, for a new movie review series. Unlike Star Trek, where it was, 13 movies, this is 24. And I'm starting with the very first film that ever was released. Released in 1962. And fun fact about this series when it comes to this particular film, and my dad. He saw this in theaters as a double feature with the second film in this series, Rush with Love. Yeah, double feature. That's not a joke. That seriously did happen back in the 60s. My dad has seen every single James Bond, every single one of these films released in theaters. Yep. We're talking about the very first film of James Bond. Yeah, I have the Sean Connery collection. This is the first volume for it. We're going to talk about Dr. No. That one right there. Starring Sean Connery as James Bond himself. With Honey Rider, the Bond girl in the film, played by Ursula Andress. We also see the first appearances of two characters who appear for pretty much the rest of the film series, along with Bond himself. Actually, three, if you include Q, this character. We see M, Moneypenny, and Q. Now, Q is not played by Des Newell, which he's been in the film a majority of the film series up until The World's Not Enough. He's not in this film at all. Nope, it is somebody else. It is a guy by the name of... Let's see if we can find him here. His name is Peter Burton. And it's the only time you see him in the whole film. He makes a one cameo appearance, and then that's pretty much it for the character. Of course, Bond's introduction to him is very well handled. Yep. His introduction is him just playing a card game with a woman named Trench, Sylvia Trench. And he introduced himself as I admire your luck, Mr. Bond. James Bond. Oh yeah, in case you wonder who directed the film, it was Terrence Young. Yes, Terrence Young. A guy who was directing Hammer horror films. Yeah, a horror director directed James Bond. Go figure. One of the few times he actually directed the films. Yeah, he directed a few of these films, and yeah. I think I've about 3 or 4 of these films, as far as I can tell you. I think he did. Yep. Now, here's the thing. This is probably this one was the last film. Now, Ian Fleming, the writer of the novels, he was there for the shooting for this entire film because the film took place a majority in Jamaica, which is where Ian Fleming lived when he was alive. And that's where he died, in Jamaica. Yep. So, this film has some introductions. First, we have James Bond getting his Walter PBK. Given to by Boothroyd himself. I have heard that the reasoning for him getting that, because his original gun was a Beretta. There was someone named Boothroyd. There's a real life person named Boothroyd. And he contacted Ian Fleming himself and says, why would you have Bond use a lady's gun? Why not Walter PBK be better? And I guess Ian Fleming must took that advice and had Bond use a Walter PBK. And the Walter PBK has generally been James Bond's signature gun from this movie forward. It's actually the only thing it's the only thing from Bond that when people think of James Bond, that's what people think of. But, okay. Now, who plays the other two? Who plays M. Moneypenny? M is played by the late Bernard Lee. He plays in this film up until Moonraker. Yes, for 14 films. And currently, no one has ever broken the record. Nobody. Not even the 3 actors who replaced him. Yeah, the guy who replaced him was only M for 4 films. And the one who replaced him, which was the Judi Dench, she was M for about 7 films. Yep, and then we have, of course, Ralph Fiennes, who's been an M for roughly 2 movies. Now, who plays Miss Moneypenny? Lois Maxwell. And she was basically Moneypenny from this film up until View to a Kill. Yep, for roughly a long frickin' time she was, Moneypenny. She was Moneypenny up until before Timothy Dalton took over as, Moneypenny. And we see her flirting with Bond for basically the beginning of the movie. Now, the movie starts out quite unusually. It starts out with a man named Strangways. You have Professor Dent, he's actually one of the villains of the film, and they're playing bridge. Yes, this is a real card game. I personally have never played it. It's a game played by people who are older than myself. Yeah, so one guy says, "Get back before the cards get cold." I don't know really exactly what that saying means. Like, cars getting cold? What? Yeah, so he has to make a phone call at this particular time to London. So he goes home, he gets in his car, and then he's shot by the three blind mice. Yes, these three hitmen, all black, and yeah, these all black guys, and they all shoot him with silencers. It's like pop, pop, pop. That was it. And then we have, well, then like they take the body away, and then we have like, and this is something I do agree with Calvin Dicey on this one. Yeah, the jump cuts this movie is so stupid. Yeah, we just have an abrupt jump cut. Like for this was one of two times in the movie it happened. It happens a little bit later too, where it's like boom, 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 and a person gets shot. Like what? Why did you have a jump cut for? Yes. Apparently, this was done by the editor Peter Hunt, who later became the director of the sixth film of the series, I Imagine Secret Service. Yep, he did. And let's see what else. Yeah, they shoot the secretary for some reason. They disable this communication device, and then the scene ends with one of them just opening a filing cabinet and pulling out two folders. One saying Crab Key, the other one saying the title of the movie, Doctor No. Oh, and by the way, in case you wonder when does Doctor No show in this film, you hear his voice once in this film, and then you don't see him in person until like the last I would say like the last 20 minutes of the movie. It's not like toward the final act you finally see him in person. Now, they describe Doctor No as Chinese. The actor playing him is not Chinese. Nope, he is Jewish. I'm not kidding, he's freaking Jewish. The actor who plays him is Joseph Wiseman. Also, we have a recurring LA Bonds who appears in this movie. He doesn't appear that. He appears heavily in the Sean Connery films. He appears in like almost every Sean Connery film except for the Falling film, and he does not appear for. He appears like out of the first 7 films, he appears all but I think it was like 3. He doesn't appear in the second film. He doesn't appear in the 5th film, and he doesn't appear in the 6th film, but he does appear in that titular 9th film of the series, which started the Roger Moore era. That was the last time he physically appeared, and he appeared in both Dalton movies, and he disappeared until he appeared in the Daniel Craig movies. In this movie, he's played by the late Jack Lord. People who are fans of Hawaii Five-O recognize Jack Lord playing the original Steve McGarrett on the 60s version of Hawaii Five-O. And for some reason, and this is basically. Now, there's been a rumor of why he was replaced. One was that he could better money. 2, that was one reason. Another reason was that the producers didn't like him very much. Yeah. There's never been an official reason of why Jack Lord was replaced. And for some people, he was the best Felix Leiter. He's one of the few good Felix Leiters who actually did something. He does a whole cool shades. Heck, I love his introduction to movies. You see him following Bond, and we meet Bond for the first time. It has and basically, and he's like, he tells Bond, "Nice suit. Who's your tailor?" And he tells like a person in London, he says, "Mine's a guy in Washington." And of course, that's when he has. Oh yeah, he's Felix Leiter. We also have the introduction of Quarrel. Yeah, this is a different character. Now the one who appears in the very first Roger Moore film is a completely different character. Apparently, it's for his Quarrel Jr., despite the fact both films are reversed. Yeah. Though the actor, I think he's since passed away, is John Kitzmer. Yeah, I believe he has since passed away. Yeah, he passed away just a few years after the film was released. Yep. We also have a secretary who works for the embassy. Yeah, her name's Miss Taro. And she's revealed to be a spy of, well, Dr. No. Also, I should continue about the Silver Transformers. Okay, after the opening, after her first introduction scene, she's not seen again until Bond goes back to his apartment. Which, by the way, after this, his home is never seen again until you first see him, until you see Bond appear in the film Live and Let Die. I think after that, I don't think we see Bond's home again until I'm trying to remember. I think it was not in the Bronson years. No, they never showed James Bond's house in that one. I think it wasn't until Daniel Craig's era they finally show his house again. As far as I know, anyways. Yeah. And basically, Trent just shows up wearing a shirt playing golf. Yeah, she has a thing for playing golf. They mentioned the next film as well. And she does come back from next film, but there was a plan for her to appear in 6 films before she becomes Bond Girl. That was basically never went anywhere. Nope. So Bond's like, okay, apparently Snowball goes home, and we have, well, like, and it's Trench, and he's like, oh, you missed, and he says you have to leave immediately. Yeah, so basically he's just for get some quick luggage and go fly to Jamaica, and he spends the whole film in Jamaica. Yep, the whole entire film. Well, except for the final act, he goes to Crab Key, but he spends pretty much a lot of his time in Jamaica. I mean, as soon as he gets there, he meets up with Quarrel, though they think it's baddie. Nope, it just playing along. Yep, though he's followed from the airport by, of course, Felix Leiter. He gets into a car with a fake government agent. Yes, for how in the world they were to find that, how the whole thing of how Bond coming to Jamaica, yeah, that plot point is never explained the whole entire film. Nope, it never is. It's like, okay, let's just have it where his information is leaked, and it's like, okay, we don't identify who this driver is. Yeah, Bond gets to a bare knuckle brawl with him, and people think Daniel Craig is the one basically having him where Bond bleeds. You see this film, his fist freaking bleeds, like his knuckles are like bloody red. O'Connor himself would never see him actually a drop of blood again for the rest of the films. Yeah, then of course take the car back and there's a funny line. Of course, Connor is known for his funny line, like, don't let him get away. He sees the man is dead. Yeah, and of course it was cyanide poisoning, and yeah, we see this. And it goes to Strangways House. It's a nice place, and of course there's a jump cut in the movie of just walking up to him. It's like, oh, what's this? And we see like that. Yep. It's the only jump cut I can think of. Yeah, all happens at this one house. Why in the world Peter did this for, I have no idea. Trying to think of what else. Yeah, and of course Mrs. Bruce got people, and of course Mr. Dent later over some rocks. Yeah, it turns out, yeah, they were just nothing thrown away. Yep, and he goes to visit Dr. No, and you see this wonderful room designed by Ken Adams, who was a set designer for pretty much a majority, pretty much like all the Connery films, and he did a couple of the Roger Moore films. The place was different set director later on, but man, Ken Adams, man, he had an eye for design. The sets here look fantastic. The only sets he did I could think of was this one big room and the control room. And that's it. Yeah, that was a big note where I'm sure he probably designed the office used by M. It's surprising though M only appears for this one scene, and then he just like after this. I mean, this has been the whole thing with the whole entire Bond films is that M doesn't really appear very much early on in the films. Like early on in the film series, M just appears just for one scene, gets an exhibition, same money penny, and that's it. Yep. Eventually, of course, after some stuff going on, and of course, Bond also beds the second woman in the movie by sleeping with the secretary. Yep. And he kind of forced himself on her. Though it was the 60s, it was acceptable to do this. Nowadays, yeah, what he did kind of classifies as sexual harassment. Yes, it does. It clearly classifies as sexual harassment. Yep. And he gets arrested, and she's never seen again. That's what happens to her. Never explained, just that she's arrested. They never really play a lot of the characters in the movie. I mean, Dent shows up at her place later, like thinks she kills Bond. No, but then Dent gets killed by Bond himself. And from what I heard, it's been a while since I read the novel. Apparently, Bond kills him in cold blood. Yep. Yeah, the death is actually a little gruesome in the novel. Heck, even the villain's death is a lot more stupid in the novel than it is in the movie. And he goes up Lighter and Quarrel to grab Key. And they explore the place for a bit, and then they spend the night there, and then they wake up and they see the iconic scene that was duplicated in a couple movies. It was duplicated in Die Another Day, and it was also duplicated in Casino Royale of, well, a woman coming out of the water while wearing this particular outfit. It's been sort of nodded over the years, and she just comes out wearing this white swimsuit. And by the way, this is actually a museum piece, by the way. Yeah, she has like this belt, and she's got a knife there. She also has a shirt as well. Her name is Honey Rider. Now, in the novel, she's actually not the good-looking person. I mean, Ursula Andress at the time must have been a smoking hot woman. Of course, she's much older now. And she apparently had her nose was kind of disfigured. And in the novel, she was just basically a conquest Bond. Yep, that's simply put what she was, a conquest. And pretty much they just hung out to the rest of the film. There's a good conversation piece, basically, of a little bit of Honey Rider's backstory, because she's very late in the movie. The next one, they actually don't wait too long to introduce the Bond girl. This one, they wait till, like, toward the final act, start of the final act, like, kind of before the final act, where they finally introduce her. Talk about a dragon. You finally see, and later on, you see, like, they're running away from some trackers, Dr. Those men, and you see the dragon himself, and it's just a dragon tank with just a truck that shoots flames and the whole roar, just the engine. Yeah, and apparently Quarrel's made this damn thing. So Bond just shoots at the tires and the lights while Quarrel goes after the driver. And Quarrel gets fried on the spot. And then they're taken straight back to Dr. No's headquarters. And then eventually, like, they get, apparently there's radiation all over the island. Somehow. They don't thoroughly explain that. Oh yeah, and then we have the stripping scene. We have Ursula Andress basically kind of in the nude, but apparently, from what I heard, like, if you see this particular scene, if you pause this moment, you kind of see some hair below the belt line. Yeah, from what I heard, she was not completely naked for the scene. Nope, she wasn't. It's actually a couple times in the series, you actually see some nudity in the series. Yeah, you see all next to him as well. Put on a robe, they go to a special hotel room, have some coffee. Of course, it's drugged. They get knocked down, they put on an outfit. Then they go to Doc Note, and you see this beautiful room. And you see like a portrait. From what I heard about this portrait that Bond stops looking at, yeah, apparently this was stolen in real life, this particular painting, by a guy who worked for BBC, whose pension was terrible, so he wanted more money. In the film, he stole it by Dr. No. Yeah. And of course, they see like the badly projected fish. Yeah. And of course, in his first line in the movie to Bond, he says, like, I think it was like $10 million to build this piece of glass. Like, okay. And they have dinner, which consists of a few grapes. I'm like, what's wrong with you, Doctor? You couldn't sprinkle for some steak? Anything? Why hors d'oeuvres? Yeah, you're a terrible host, Doctor. No. Why do you think no one came into your freaking hotel? Because you suck at being a host. And they talk for a while, and of course, Honey gets taken someplace. Yeah, the whole thing with this, I'll explain that in a minute. They talk a little while, and of course, there's the first mention of Spectre, which becomes a recurring thing throughout the Sean Connery films. Yep. Starting from this film up until Diamonds Are Forever. And then pretty much after that, Spectre is never mentioned in the series again until the film Spectre, which came out a few years ago. Yep. Though it's brought up in pretty much like almost every single one of these films, except for Goldfinger and I think it's just Goldfinger. Yeah, just Goldfinger's the only one of the first 7 films that doesn't mention Spectre at all. Yep. So yeah, and what it stands for? He mentions like it stands for Special Executive for Terrorism, Revenge, and Extortion. And I like to apply for the Revenge Department to basically figure out who killed Strangways. And of course, Doctor was like, "Oh no, I thought you just a smart guy. I thought you just a simple policeman." And of course, he gets him like soft. No, not that one thing yet. And of course, he gets sort of punched. Yeah, this whole beating scene is like so weakly done. And next you see Bond just in his cell, looks like he's sort of tore up. And then of course the event gets electricity, and of course they go through. Oh yeah, and then of course he goes to a tunnel, and we see the obvious stunt double. Yeah, we don't see something like this again until View to a Kill, though it's only this one brief scene. Excuse me, he gets out, puts on a radiation suit, and then like he goes to the control, which is fantastic. Oh, by the way, what's Doc No's plan? Stop the rockets from launching from Cape Canaveral. For some, oh yeah, his reason is because he offered his intelligence to the West. They turned him down, so he's like, "You dare turn me down? I'll take down your rockets." Yeah, his plan is so stupid. So yeah, and we see like special radiation, whatever. Like yeah, so it's a very awkward scene to watch from my perspective. It's like, okay, we have some good music here. Yeah, the music is actually really good in this film. And oh, in case you're wondering, does this film have like the special opening theme song like all the other Bond films do? Nope. We don't see that until the following film, Rush with Love. We see it. This one doesn't have one. It just has just a couple songs, brief ones, and ends with a Three Blind Mice song. But yeah, a lot of music is really good. Of course, we have a fight between Bond and this radiation guy. He gets knocked over, and of course we have a fight between Bond and Dr. No, which ends with him just falling off this platform, falling to some radiation. Oh yeah, in case you're wondering, how does he die in the novel? He gets buried by bird poop. I'm not kidding. That's seriously how he gets killed. And of course, Bond and Ryder drive up in his dragon tank. Well, in the movie, just basically, it's like he run down, take a boat out, and they run into Felix, try to take him back to shore, and then eventually, then so they just let go of the rope and just so, yeah, he wants to have his Lovecraft. Then of course, yeah, that's last CEO Felix Leiter. He's absent from the next movie. Does come back for Goldfinger. Yep. Yeah, this is a good movie. I do like it. Yeah, whenever I go through a Bond marathon, I generally do start with this one first. Because it's the start of the damn series, that's why. And if you're wondering how long is this film is roughly, let's see if we can find the runtime on here. It is, I think I might list on here. This film is roughly like an hour and 49 minutes. So roughly about 2 hours, which is normally the length of the Bond films anyways. Usually they're close to 2 hours or just a little over that. So yeah. So good film. Highly recommend it. Captain Awesome, if you're watching this, I review a film from your country. Yep. James Bond. Yeah, and also fun fact. Now, the studio who made this is Pinewood Studios, though it's basically overseen by Eon Films. And Pinewood Studios is known for basically involved with every single production involving James Bond. Pinewood Studios also was involved with the Star Wars franchise. Yep, involved with that too. The whole cast, I think Jack Lord is American, but yeah, I think most of this cast is pretty much British. So, yeah. So, that's it for this particular review. My next few reviews I'm going to do, basically, definitely the review Super, if I get a chance to upload or not. Baruto, and I'm also going to do 2 more movie reviews of the next 2 Bond films. You'll find out what they are soon, okay? See you next view. Bye.